Hi, I'm your host, Kel Dansby, and thank you for joining us again for another edition of the Cavalier Sports Report. I'm here with men's basketball coach Mike Jeffers. Hi, Coach.
Hey, Kel.
Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Let's get right into it. So far this season, a lot of tough games, a lot of good wins, but a lot of near losses as well. What has your team taken from those games so far this season?
Well, the one thing we hope we have learned and taken is that is develop some mental toughness within our team. Like you were right, our schedule has just been absolutely brutal. It's one of those years where maybe we overscheduled early. And might say, well, hey, how's your schedule? I said, well, we've played everybody but the Celtics so far. But we had a 1-point loss at Neosho, a 3-point loss to Seward, an overtime loss to DMAC up in a tournament early in the year. And the schedule has really been tough. And hopefully we're starting to see the fruits of that schedule and that we've won 3 of our last 4 games. We won an overtime game at KCK at Kansas City, Kansas last night. We showed some really toughness down the stretch defensively. We're down 14 with 7 minutes to go and finished the regulation on a 24-10 run and outscore them 10-6 in overtime and only give up 1 field goal in overtime. So we're hoping that schedule has paid off. I mean, we've had some injuries. The schedule was tough, but we're kind of turning that corner right now with 3 weeks to go.
Do you think scheduling that hard kind of out-of-conference schedule and the beginning of your conference schedule, those hard games prepare you for the tournament later on in the season?
Well, I think our total schedule, our non-conference schedule, Jayhawk schedule, has traditionally really prepared us well for postseason play. This year, we did have some tough losses early, and if you've got the kind of young men that we think we have, then you're able to adjust and hopefully grow from that. Because we've always been in the opinion that adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. So hopefully we think we've got a lot of high character kids and they've been put in tough situations, and now they've learned how to respond in those tough situations.
Well, your teams have played in 12 straight Division IV championship games. To get there again this year, what would you like to see from your team coming down the stretch?
Well, this is one thing we're hopeful of too, is that a lot of those games were road games, especially first semester. We played 12 games and only 3 were at home, and 9 were on the road. This is 1 year that with our loss last week to Highland, that we're going to go on the road for a first-round game. We'll be on the road for a region championship game. We've been in region championship, for 12 straight years. This will be the first time in the last 14 years where we've had to go on the road for a first-round playoff game. So our backs are against the wall come postseason. But we've got 3 weeks to improve our team, get better, and be ready for postseason play.
I've watched the last couple of games. Obviously, the team looks like it's improving every time, and a lot of it are those freshmen that you had to play. It seems like they're coming around. What impact do you see from those freshmen heading down the stretch that you think could really turn the tide for this team?
Yeah. Well, I think our total team has developed. Christian Hildebrandt is our only freshman starter.
Yep.
Last night he had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists at KCK, so he was within a couple of assists of being a triple-double last night. So, Miles Hibbler off the bench, Mike Hibbler off the bench. The Hibbler twins have played an integral role. But it's still for us, really it comes down to our sophomores have to lead us. Justin Leathers, Quasim Jones, Xavier Bass-Brooks, Melvin Turner. Our sophomores are still the guys that have to go out and produce if we're going to have a chance to be successful.
Speaking of Justin Leathers, triple-double or double-double almost every night. The guy plays the low block. He's 6'5". He plays like he's 6'10". What have you seen from him this year that even makes him better than last season?
Well, the one thing that he's putting up better numbers and he's drawing more attention defensively from your opponent. So people are game planning on how you have to stop Justin Leathers. And he's increased from, I think, like 13 points to 19 points. He's went from 6 rebounds a game to almost 10. He's almost averaging. He's within a couple of rebounds of averaging a double-double. So yeah, and at 6'5", he's a little undersized, but he's quick and he's athletic, and but he can still step out, at the right time, and he can knock down a three. He'll knock down a three for you. So he's a little bit of a dual threat, inside, outside. But if we had our druthers, we'd rather have him right down there at low block, going to score at the low post.
Oh yeah, I definitely understand that. The first time I saw him play, I was like, man, this guy reminds me so much of Dwayne Wade when he first got into the league. That he plays bigger than he actually is, which is something hard to do. It's just toughness, and that toughness resides throughout your whole team. How do you prepare your team to become tough? Is that just something you inherit, the type of players you go out and get, or is that something you try to instill early in the season?
Well, we talk about mental toughness and physical toughness, and we do, Coach Ryan Morley, my assistant that's been with me for 4 years, does a really good job in the off-season in our conditioning and strength training program. And when they get a little test there on how mentally tough they are and physical toughness, but I think a lot of that comes from how you approach practices, how they approach practice, the level of competition in practice every day, and then the level of competition of your regular season schedule is kind of what helps develop that also.
2 national championships to your credit already. What you're driving for still to get this third? What hunger still is inside you to get this third?
To watch players develop and get better every day. I mean, every team has some guys that will buy in, some that won't buy in. We think we're to the point where we've got all our guys bought in this year, and it's just that drive to watch guys improve every day, to watch a team improve every day, to watch guys leave here and move on to the 4-year level, play 2-3 years, be really competitive, be contributors to their team at that level, and then watch them graduate, and then watch them, stay in contact with them as they, stay connected with us and recommend players to come here. And some of our best recruiting is done by former players that see kids, know this guy, know that guy, and recommend Johnson County Community College and recommend our basketball program. That keeps you going too.
Definitely. That definitely shows your hard work and all the work you've done here at the college to really build a quality program. And I'd like to thank you for joining us today, Coach. I'd like to thank everyone out there for joining us today. Once again, I'm your host, Kel Dansby. Thank you for watching the Cavalier Sports Report. Check out all of our other episodes on the YouTube page, and make sure you come to see me. All right, thanks. See you next time. Thanks, Coach.